Hello, everybody, and welcome to our last live for today. And it's kind of Tracy's show. So we'll go into that in a second. I'm Heather Cameron, your co-host of the Scrapbooking Fun Summit. I am the techie person, and both Tracy and I have our own business. So Tracy's my co-host. And I have a business in coaching and business coaching and running online summits like this. And I approached Tracy 3 years ago, almost now, I think so, getting close to 3 years ago, to say, hey, I have this idea. And the reason I approached Tracy is Tracy runs a virtual scrapbooking store, and Tracy is our sponsor for today. So we have daily sponsors, and Tracy's own business is the Embellished Connections, and she is our sponsor for today. And Tracy is a virtual scrapbooking, paper crafting store in Canada. So if you're in Canada and you're looking for paper crafting supplies, scrapbooking, card making, any type of paper or tools that go with it, you can reach out to Tracy and she can help you find it. Given our current circumstances of shipping stuff across the border, Tracy's a better place for you to go if you're in Canada. And if you're a VIP, you can have a discount in her store. And if you don't find what you want on her website, call her. Just give her a call. She likes to find stuff for you and do that. So Tracy, thank you for sponsoring. And Tracy is our star for this one, our crafting person. So I get to ask Tracy the same questions that I was asking other people, or maybe new ones. So we will see. So we're going to, without further ado, we're going to switch over and spotlight Tracy for a change. There we go. Tracy's the star. So first of all, what part of the world are you in, Tracy?
This part right here, which happens to be Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I want to say the cold north, but it's not bad today, apparently.
I was going to say it's not cold at all today. It's smoky, but not cold.
Yeah.
And how did you get into this world of paper crafting?
Basically, years ago, like I'm probably like 2002, a friend of mine was like, hey, she started doing with creative memories. She started scrapbooking and she's like, you know what, you might like this. And then I looked at it and stuff and I was like, no offense, not for me. And then after the years, when other products came out, something a little more colorful and playful or whatnot, I went, hang on, what are you doing there, girl? And anyway, so she showed me again and I started to scrapbook with her. And then she doesn't like me anymore because she buys from me and I make her spend her money.
It's a good answer. And by the way, everybody's coming live. Let us know where you're from. Your projects was great. Excellent. We are going to get into her project. Hello, all. Great layout, Tracy. I love the way you cut the pictures. Very inspired. What made you move to have your own shop, to do this where you're doing a virtual shop and really supporting the paper crafting community here in Ottawa, Canada, and now really kind of across Canada if they need to?
Basically, because I like different things, I don't like to use exactly what everybody's using in a sense. I have to find different product all the time, and that's what I personally need as well, right? So, and this was back in the day when all of a sudden I started to go, you can shop online. Like I was like, what is this thing, right? And I found some different products that way. And then I just went, you know what? Why don't I bring these in here to like Ottawa in this case? So that's really how it started. I just went, yeah, we don't have different product here. And I wasn't even like, going yet to the scrapbook shops that did exist here, but I just found certain things weren't easy to find. And I went, I'm going to bring them in. That's how it happened. Yeah.
Excellent. You may have to not wave your hands close to your microphone.
I know it's the French in me.
I'm sitting on the mine too. I talk with my hands too, but it's knocking on your microphone. At least I can see it. Hopefully other people can't hear it. What's one of the hardest things you've had to conquer in your paper crafting, or want to conquer? I'll go with what? Want to conquer, have to conquer in your paper crafting.
I'm not getting into the want to because I know what's going to be said. So, but because of course I got to think about this a bit today, right? Because when you first asked me, or when you first brought this question up to some people today, in my head I was thinking, well, stamping, because I don't do a lot of stamping. And that was one thing that was hard for me to do, and it still is. And then, but really, it's just the confidence. I think it
Mhm.
was to get the confidence out there and to do it and to not. And basically, what I tell everybody, I'm like, always say, I have to use my hands. It just came out again, Heather. I was
Use your
sitting on
hands.
it. I'm
Just
like,
don't wave
I,
them. Just don't wave them near your microphone. That's okay. Wave them up above your head. Fine.
but yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, because we're always going, oh, should we use this or that? What looks better? And it's like, put your 5-year-old head on and just do it. And it's amazing. I just find what you can come up with. So, but it did take me time, let alone, yes, Heather, it took me, and it's still taking me time to get the confidence to speak out like this to people online and to teach others and
Yeah, I was going to
stuff
say
like
that you are
that.
doing
So,
great with that. I was just thinking that if we should write down all these things that people conquer, because there's a
mhm,
really cool story emerging here just on day one. So we have to write those down
yes.
before we forget. So we should make notes of that on each one. Um, so yes, and Suzette did give you a comment about that, but we'll come to it. I'm just going to go through the comments quickly. Why don't you talk a little bit about your project before we go through the comments? So if you have it with you, give us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll come back to the comments.
I mean, I have, like I say, the first one and then the second one kind of thing. That's what I did during the video. That's what I did before the video, which is hard for me to do as well. Always repeat. Basically, it's playing around with your photos. I think this one you can see it a bit better in this lighting, where I use the black and white photo and a color photo, same picture, but I, you know, played around with the color of it. And then, as somebody pointed out, sorry, I decided I've done it before where I've cut them out in strips, or you see a lot of people do cubes in their photos sometimes. And I did a diagonal. Let's do something different once again. And that's because, again, I just said, yeah. But I was also playing with things that a lot of us have. We all have edge punches that we haven't used. Um, and then, of course, I love my embellishments and let alone my chipboard. There'll always be chipboard on my layouts. But for me, I did something different because again, I'm not a glitter person. I'm not a glossy person, but I threw the glitter and the gloss. And that happens to go back to my friend who got me into scrapbooking because that is her. And I,
Mhm.
why don't I try something? Because then you know what? I can show her and she'll buy it from me. Her ears must be ringing right now if the phone rings. Okay.
That's great.
But yeah, and then again, it's
It's
I always
beautiful.
say in all the videos we have, you have to watch them because what we see versus what is on the layout, it's like, wow, there's a lot more work in there than you might think.
There's a lot more technique, and there's also, like I've said
Yes,
earlier today, there's hidden gems in every video. I have watched all the videos for the most part, and there's hidden gems in all of the videos.
there is.
So here's a good question for you, which is, love how you cut your photo into strips and did the black and white color strips. What gave you that idea?
Look at that. Well, years ago, and I can't tell you exactly what gave me the idea years ago. Because I don't know, to be honest. I just said, I'm just tried something because I would see, like I said, some people doing their pictures, especially in cubes. There was a certain company and they did a stencil kind of thing with cubes. And I liked the idea, but of course, I can't do exactly that. So I had to do something different with it. So I did strips and then I went, hang on, what if I did strips? It just hit me, with the different color photos. So then this time, I haven't done that in years, and I just went, okay, what if I use this concept to show you? But I had to do something different once again.
Maybe one of the
I have
reasons
a
we get
problem with
along.
being different, right? So I played around. I had some old photos and I played around going, do I do strips again? I played with size of cubes and I went, hang on, do it diagonal. Just be different,
It's a
right?
good answer. It's one of the things we have in common, which I drive you nuts with my difference. So now I know. What other items have you recently rediscovered beside the border press? Ah,
Beside the border punches, again, I've had glossy accents for so long. Okay. Um, my bottle can sit there on a shelf for years, and then all of a sudden I went, hey, it still works. And then that's what I used on some of the chipboard. Um, then again, well, hey, I'm just looking here going, I'll always use a doily or something like that because I think they're cute. Those are some of the, well, on here, what I
I can think
use.
of some others too, even. So there you go.
Oh, there's,
That you've
again,
recently rediscovered. So we have been doing a spin the wheel, make the thing in our circle. And one of the
yeah,
spin the wheel, make your things was decorative edge scissors. And that
scissors.
is something that she had to go find. So yes, she rediscovered those.
Yes. And if you still have them, you may not use them all the time, but I'm like, hang on, there's different, I don't know, just like I've never at the time when they were in, they were like our decorative borders. And now I'm like, well, no, why don't I use that to do the matting around my picture or something a bit different? And well, it just
So
kind of
for
worked,
those who are in
right?
the circle who might think about coming to our Scrapbooking Fun Circle, we do these spin the wheels, make the things, or draw from the hat. And Tracy gets very creative of what we're drawing, so you might rediscover stuff that way as well. Um, okay, you
The
just
other
got to
thing is
read
a
this one.
crimper.
The crimper. You got to read this one. Question: have you used your Cricut to make anything from your scrapbooking projects? From
For
Suzette.
some reason, Suzette, I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
If
Okay.
you haven't
Next.
noticed by the little joking that goes here, Suzette's one of our Scrapbooking Fun Circle members, and Tracy has a Cricut machine that's in a box for a while. So it's an ongoing joke for poor Tracy.
Yeah. And even if I were ever to use it, I don't think I could tell anybody because then it wouldn't be fun anymore, right?
When you get
That's my
stuck,
excuse now.
there you go. When you get stuck, it'll come out of the box when I want to use it, and I'll go, Tracy, can I use your Cricut machine? When you get stuck, where's your favorite place to get inspired? Not what, but where.
Yeah. You know what? It's probably in bed at 3 a.m. just to go ding, little, hey, you didn't hear my phone. I went ding and the phone went ding. I went, wow, that was freaky. Anyways, um, of course, like everybody else, I will go online, I will go through, well, um, Canadian Scrapbooker magazine, which was called sorry, it was Canadian Scrapbooker. It's called Creative Scrapbooker now. I might go through there. I might go, of course, all Pinterest, any sites, anybody, well, MK, who was just on. I love her style, and that's how I discovered her because I was like, how come who's always following, right? And
Mhm.
that's how that happened. So yeah, it just depends, just like everybody else.
The
You
world
know?
is that, and there you go. And that's I'm going to plug my own presentation. So there you go. I'm doing a presentation at some point in time by Sunday.
It's
So this is real transparency. Heather always does her presentation at the last minute because I'm doing everything else. So I still have to record my presentation for Sunday. So if you're VIP, it's coming. For everyone else, it will be there by Sunday. But I'm going to show you how to use AI to get inspiration. So how to use ChatGPT and other things to get inspiration as well. Next, hi Tracy. What tool did you use to rub on the transfers? I've never used transfers. Can you use something other than baby wipes like cleaner wipes or facial wipes? I'm new to this.
believe it or not, I have a rub-on tool from years ago. Rub-ons are back in now. Why nobody has made a new tool, I cannot explain that. Like, it's like, why doesn't somebody come up with it again, right? Because that tool is like, I can sleep with it. Like, just leave me alone. Don't anybody steal it, right? Um, of course, you'll often get popsicle sticks. Just gonna look in I have a little tool
That was
container
Suzette's
going.
comment. You can use a popsicle stick.
Well, yeah, like, so this is the tool that she's referring to. So I'm just going here, like maybe you can use, this is a bone folder, something like that. Um, Again, you want something that's not too sharp, right? Because you don't want to accidentally rip through it. And with a rub on too, you want to press hard, but not hard. So how to say it can indent your paper a little bit or make the outskirts of the rub on showing a bit more if you do. Again, it doesn't matter too much. For the wipes, to be honest with you. Cleaner wipes, I'd watch out for because that's where she's talking is this is what I stole from MK. All right. Where in behind here, like I use some ink, some distress oxides back there, and then with a stencil, I dabbed well, I used baby wipes and just kind of, remove some of the ink so you can see the colors of, you can see that like it looks like a splash or something there from the stencil. And in there, a cleaner wipe is probably going to be too soapy for you. Okay,
Well, it
because
might
there's a lot more
disintegrate your
soap in
web.
there than there is a baby wipe.
Well, it also might disintegrate your website, your
Here.
page. Too
See,
much
she's the
website
techie
jokes.
person.
It might disintegrate because they use the same technique in watercolors. So you use the same idea
Yeah.
of removing. But I would think a cleaning wipe would have too much like bleachy stuff in it that's going to
Yeah,
hurt the
I do.
paper.
That's gonna have too much in it. A alcohol wipe, I think you had asked. Again, you could try it, but that, depending on the ink you're using, can affect that as well.
It might blur your ink. Yeah.
So that's why a baby wipe, just remember, you use it on your baby's bum. It's nice and gentle. So
Mhm.
that's how come we use it a lot on our pages. It's safe that way.
Excellent. How did the heart with the hole turn out? I was thinking about adding a flat back gem to the space could be cool.
Yeah, and that's honestly, it was just, if you watch the video, and you may have, I was just pouring the no, well, not pouring, but you're kind of like holding the glossy accents in place, and you're, kind of going over the heart. And so whatever I did during the video, I guess I just skipped over a little area and went around. And then I noticed it. Like I was shocked in the video. I went, and I don't think I deleted that part where I went, oh my God. And so it just made me go, hang on, I'm just going to refill or like fill up the bottom part of the heart and keep that little spot empty. It just to me looked different than looked nice and smooth. I got really excited when I did that. Okay, so that was really smooth. And the other one, I had that little space empty. Could you put something in there? Of course you can if you wish. I could have filled it up with the glossy accents, or you could decorate it how you want, but I just went, I like that spot.
Excellent. So Patricia just watched a couple of the videos and they were great. First time for being a VIP. VIP, this is one of our best packages. I mean, we're prompting it because we don't want you to miss out. Content-wise, it's one of the best bonus packages. And there's so many hidden gems in all these videos that you can go back and watch. So,
And then let's say, Patricia, that you watch a video and you're going, hang on, I want to try that. I don't have glossy accents. You've got time. You can go out and get it and come back in a few months and say, okay, now what was that video I wanted to see? And so that's a
Patricia
great
does
thing
have
about
the
being a
VIP.
VIP.
Yeah, Patricia has a VIP, which is great. So thank you for
Yeah,
buying the
yeah.
VIP. And don't forget to take advantage of our bonus and come and play with us in the circle for at least a month. You get a month free. I like how you cut up the photo. I've cut up a bunch of photos of Bisbee that the whole town is on the side of a hill. I hodgepodge the square on the whole 12 by 12 sheet, which made it look like that. Oh, that's kind of cool.
So I'm just curious because brings up something else. Did you make that kind of like your pattern paper? That's what I'm also wondering because I've seen there was a friend of mine, well, my same friend there. Okay, everybody's gonna get to know Shar. So she had all these pictures once from basically under the sea, like all the fish and stuff when she went scuba diving once. And so she was trying to figure out how to lay them all out. And eventually she just went, whoa, because you've got so many of, we'll say the same fish, but she wound up making that her background paper and then put a couple pictures of them scuba diving on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then that sounds a bit like what that might be, and I might be wrong there, dear.
I have tons of those decorated scissors from my scrapbooking days years ago. So pull them out again. So that's our challenge to you, Joyce. It's one of the things that we do in the circle all the time is to challenge you to use what you already have and find stuff that you haven't used for a year or a couple of years. So are you willing to take a challenge to pull them out again and use them on your scrapbook or your card making or whatever it is that you do?
Yeah.
Also, another Cindy organized my craft room and I found things I didn't know I had. Once again, the collection. Yes. Just pulled out a finished product made with the Cricut. I'm catching up here. You can run the rub-ons through the Big Shot. There you go.
Okay. I would never have tried that, to be honest. Now, that might be hard to do if you're putting them on a 12 by 12 sheet, but on something else.
A mini Cricut scraper or an old gift card.
True. There you go. And a big thing with a rub-on, and I'll repeat it all the time when I do it in a video or whatnot, is of course I don't have like necessarily a sheet of them right now, but let's say you've got a sheet of rub-ons and you want to use the one here, cut it out first and then put it on your paper. Don't put the whole sheet on because no matter how you're scraping, odds are you might put pressure on part of the other, like the other rub-on next to it, and that's going to wind up because the heat of your hand or whatnot, that'll wind up sticking to your paper.
So, Joan, I'm going to answer your question on behalf of Tracy. The best place in Canada to buy online supplies is Tracy's store. So it's the embellishedconnection.com. If you're a VIP, there's a 25% off coupon in there. Not everything's going to be on her website. So if there's something you're looking for or something you want, because Tracy does a lot of crops and in-person events. So keeping her website up to date, and she's doing this summit, and that is not the easiest thing. But she's also willing to go and find what you want. So she's introduced Lisa Horton inks. She's introduced MJ, who was on earlier. Tons of stuff. So if she doesn't have it and it makes sense for her to bring it in, she will. But as a Canadian, it's so much easier. And she ships. We have Suzette here who's in PEI. She has clients across the country. So she ships across the country. So Joan, a plug for Tracy. If you got the VIP package, you have a 25% discount. If you don't have the VIP package and you know you're going to buy something, you may pay for that with a 25% discount. Right. So reach out to Tracy and find out more.
You can also sign up for my newsletters online because that's where I'll show a lot of the new product that's coming out. Okay.
And she does a Wacky Wednesday.
Yep, on Facebook.
And your email as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So so hopefully that answers your question, Joan, because I think she is very unique and she gets people who come and shop all the time. If you're in Ottawa, you can bang on her door, hopefully make an appointment in advance, and do that as well. So don't know where you are, what part of Canada you're in, Joan, but definitely Tracy's a great resource. How many crafters are using their die cutting machines to transfer? Many crafters are using their die cutting machines to transfer the rub-ons. So,
see, you ladies are teaching me there. I'm going to have to try it.
Somebody said they never knew about glossy accents until your video. Excited to try it out, which is great.
Yeah, and again, glossy accents has been around for years, and it's one product that doesn't get discontinued. Knock on wood here. Okay.
Cindy's answering your question from before. Well, it would look like a pattern paper. All the squares made up the town as a whole. We're catching up. Hello, lost track of time. Don't worry, we're catching up on this. Might have to try this. We don't know what Cindy has to try something, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, Shelly's here. Hi, Shelly. Do you go through phases of sticking to one theme, whether you're aware of it or not? I can answer that one. She definitely does a lot of cats.
Well, hang on. I will do a lot of cats for things that go public in a sense. Otherwise I know I'm very, this is my world kind of thing. I go back in my shell. But I don't stick to one theme in a sense because I have to change. I can't do the same thing over and over again. That's just me. Even if I go on a trip, some people are like, oh, they have to go day by day. I'm like, no, I'll do a couple days of that trip. Now I have to go to my cats or to somebody, a person or whatever it might be. That's the way my mind is.
She was teasing me about this yesterday, so I don't know. So Shelly's one of our Scrapbooking Fun Circle members, and we were plugging your die cutting wall earlier today, Shelly. You weren't with us, but we were talking about your die cutting wall. Shelly is addicted to Lisa Horton inks, and Tracy just feeds her that. So it's easier for her to order them from Tracy than to order them from Lisa Horton in the UK. So,
and I'm in Ontario, and Shelly's in BC, just to give you an idea, right?
If you're not familiar with Canada, that's one side to the other. So, it moved. Joanne is in New Brunswick. So you're close to Suzette, who was here a minute ago. Shelly's in BC. Yes. So we have people from all over the place. And it's just for those in the US, I know it's happening as well. The smaller stores are going away. And in those in other countries, it's still hard for you to get it. So in Canada, the same thing's happening. So Tracy's kind of carving out her space in this area, which is great. What's this one say? Just getting started with scrapbooking. I'm going to try making books with my mother's 70 years worth of pictures. I don't think they'll be a detailed and pretty as these pages. They will be as you grow. Ladies, don't criticize.
Yeah, no, no, definitely don't criticize. And again, um, this is, I try not to always do a layout with one picture. Often I will do layouts with more than one picture on it because, like if you go on a trip where you've got 70 years worth of pictures, that's a lot of pictures. Okay. You're not going to do 70 years of one page or one picture on a page. So no, 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 don't do that. Don't worry. Just, put a few more on a page. Sometimes I might have a jungle on a page. Like I'll be like, okay, I got to get this page done. Poof, there they all are. It just depends, right? But I love working with older pictures. I really do. So yeah, you're
Sheila
gonna
said
have
she,
fun, Kathy.
Kathy, I have a box of pictures from my parents that one day Tracy will come and help me play with and figure out
And and
if
just
she's
write
missing.
down anything that who like if you know who the people are, it's so important, right? To ask others that are with us still, ask them if they know who are the people in the pictures. So you can pass this on. It is important.
This is a good one. The most important thing is getting the pictures on a page.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
true.
And
Very
definitely
true.
Cindy said her first book to her last book, the embellishments are totally different. You
Yeah.
grow and you learn, you get better at your craft. And what's come across them when we're asking people what's their biggest thing to do, it's confidence, what you said. It's putting them, someone, MK said, finding your own style. Was it MK who
Yes.
said that? Yes, I can't think who said which. Yes, MK said finding your own style. And I think I'm an artist in a different genre, and it's exactly those can be the challenges for most of us. Is confidence
I,
and figuring and being confident in our own style.
yeah, I will always say my very first page, I mean, it's a 12 by 12, and I have maybe it's a 4 by 4 picture, and with little stickers around the picture. That was it. And that took me all day long to do. I was so scared to cut anything or to wreck anything. And it's like, no, you can do it.
So she's still with you, hoping to get the names of some of the older pictures. Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
things that's lovely to get. It's hard to get that. And
Yes.
uh, Susan, sorry, has a great point. Is your taste and your style change, and so do all your products, by the way.
Yes.
Now the industry that you're in wants you to be a consumer, so does all the products and all the pretty paper and all the pretty
Hmm.
things come out. They change constantly, which is why we often focus on using your stash. What do you have
Yeah.
in your stash? What do you have there? And doing that. I think you just gave yourself an idea for your next project, Tracy.
Uh-oh, which idea did I say?
Create a scrapbooking page with multiple pictures. There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've been doing the last ones. This one I went, I'm just going to do one, but I've got to make it different if I'm going to do one.
So for
Maybe
your
that also inspired me with cutting the picture diagonally there,
for
right?
those who are scrapbookers, how many of you do pages with just like one picture, or do you do them with a lot of pictures? What do you put on your pages? What is your favorite, or do you mix it up? And for those of card makers, it's a different question. But all the techniques work. Like some of the stuff Tracy did could be used on a card.
Oh, oh, yes. Yeah, so just, where that picture is cut diagonally, imagine if this is, say the I don't know, you've embossed maybe an A2 size card, right? Like the card front. You've embossed it or you've put a stamp on it. Then cut it out, right? And make that the focus of your card, right? You can do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Be a
Um,
cool personalized card.
well, yes, I mean, everything can be used on your card. You could do the rub-ons. Chipboard, I know, chipboard is good on a card if you're not necessarily mailing it, right? If I'm walking over to Heather's and saying happy birthday, it works just fine.
Does that mean I'm getting a handmade card for you for my birthday? I put
On my Cricut,
on your Cricut.
sorry.
Terry says I put several on a page. Ella says I put more than one picture on a page. Cindy mixes it up depending on the 8 by 8 or 12 by 12 album.
Mhm.
Do you find that you cut photos regularly or just every once in a while?
Okay, I will always cut a photo, not necessarily in like a pattern in a shape, like the diagonals of the strips or whatnot, but I will always cut my pictures. Yeah, except for the older black and whites. If they have, they'll have, even though they may not be cut straight, So let's say you've got a square photo, and some of them will have like a ripped edge around
Mhm.
it, right? Or some have just whether it's like a frame edge. Like those, I might trim it down a little nicer, but I try to keep because that's something I can't redo it the same way, right?
Mhm.
So I will keep those as is.
Ooh. Shelley only makes cards, but has used many techniques I see demonstrated in the 12 by 12 layout, which is why we encourage you guys
Yeah.
to watch everything. So if you're a card maker, watch the scrapbooking ones. If you're a scrapbooker, watch the card making ones. And a lot of our speakers will show you both. Ones I can think of right off the top is Cindy from Dare to Artsy, always gives you an example of both. Alicia, who everybody loves her stuff. She always does a card and a layout, and her printables always include both. So you can learn from both. And that's the cool part about it.
Yes. I
It's one of
mean,
the
take
reasons
say
we
glossy accents. That's something it adds a little layer, but it's not like you can use it on paper. It doesn't have to be on chipboard. So you can use it on your flowers or something that are on your cards. I mean, it's everything can be, used in both for sure.
and like there's a lot of hidden magic in all these presentations. So take a
Yeah.
look and find them. Um, Susan said you I think it's had still you still had has to put a card in an envelope. Yeah. So that counts as handmade, yes.
Oh, for Heather's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll use that, Susan.
We'll see if she makes it to do that.
Soon too. Oh God. Okay. Yes.
I'm gonna be
Get
waiting
me
for
here
that.
tomorrow, Heather.
It's more
Sorry.
than it's more than a month away. You got lots of time. More than a month away before I get a year older. So you're good.
Yeah. But for me, see, you'd say that more than a month away is nothing for me for a layout. But for a card, it's like I could shake, like I can't do a card.
Well, then you can make me a layout that I can hang on my wall. See, we're constructing my present that Tracy's going to make me now. I like this lady.
Yeah.
Keep giving us ideas. I might get something from her. Sandy. Hi, Sandy. I watch everything that I can. You never know what you might learn. And that's exactly it. You don't really know what you're going to learn in these videos. So it's techniques, it's other things that are coming around, different. There's a really cool one coming up where she makes her own paper by putting it in poured paint. Not makes her own paper, colors her own paper, I guess is the way to put it. So there's lots of really cool things coming up for the rest of the week. Any other questions for Tracy? This is your time to put her on the spot and ask her some questions. Don't worry, I get payback on Sunday when she puts me on the spot, but it's all good. Any other? There's always a delay when we ask that. So,
And what Heather is going to be teaching us is definitely something we can do, obviously with a layout or with a card.
yes, with
Yeah.
anything, yeah. And says Tracy, you can make a card with a four 6x6 cards from a 12x12 scrapbooking page. Just saying, you can make tons of cards and do that. I've seen Tracy make cards. I've actually seen her make cards and give people cards. She did a very creative one for her daughter, which actually combines what I talk about and what Tracy talks about for her daughter's graduation from a cooking school. She did a very creative one for that. So she's capable of it. Can you tell us more about the fun circle meeting? Sure, I can. So the circle is our membership. So it's called the Scrapbooking Fun Circle. It is available in the VIPs. You get a month trial and then you get 20% off. If you're not a VIP, you can join anyways. And we're going to be talking more about it at the end of the summit. And what it is that we meet once a month. So we have, there's another one of my, hey, Tracy, let's do this ideas. We have a challenge. I'm going to put us even here for a sec.
Yeah,
We have a challenge every month. So we think of something that you do, and it's really just a challenge to use your stash. That's the full intention of this. It's a challenge to use what you already have. We co-craft together at least once a week, and we have a speaker or an activity coming in. So this coming month, we have Lynn. So this month, June, I don't even know what month we're in. In June, we have Lynn, who's one of our speakers. Lynn Van is going to come in and speak about something. Last month, we had Ellie Mae about silhouettes. And then our theme last month was a play on the word silhouettes. So we had Ellie Mae coming to talk about silhouettes, and then we challenged people to make cards out of silhouettes. So we had a little play.
But it didn't have to be the silhouette machine. It could be, like Heather said, a play on words.
We often do. So our theme this month, if you are and you come and sample, if you're VIP and you come and take advantage of the free month, or if you're interested, our theme this month is tracks. So it could be train tracks, it could be a track of your life, it could be a dog track, it could be an animal track. There's lots of different ways we could take it. And Sandy, who's here, I think that's Sandy. I'm not sure if it's the same Sandy. We have a Sandy here. Was our inspiration for it. And actually MJ started it with her project. So we have people who come in and do that. Then we co-craft. We just have craft and chat times. And we come together and we craft. And we have people who watch the replays because it just connects them. Like there's a lot of connection. People don't miss them. They really love them. And it's just been created some really great friendships and bonding in that. And all of our past expert presentations are in our vault. So we have 17 now, I think, something like that, presentations that you quote. So it's almost like a mini summit now. And so that's what the circle's about. Thank you for asking, Shelley. What is your favorite adhesive? There's a big one for you.
And I get asked that a lot, which is fine. Because I do have favorites, that's for sure. Now excuse the view here for a moment.
And yes, it was Sandy. So welcome, Sandy.
Tomorrow night.
Sandy is one of our circle members. And yeah, we haven't mentioned that a lot. If you're part of the VIP bundle, if you are a VIP member or choose to become a VIP member, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. North American Eastern Time, we are doing a live crop and chat with a twist. And the twist is, I don't even know what the twist is. Tracy's going to send in, we are going to send a supply list tonight, which we have to do that, Tracy. We are going to send a supply list tonight, and then it's what you already have. And we're going to come together, and Tracy's going to lead you through whatever it is that this twist is. So to give you kind of a little bit of an idea, last November, our twist was making, using washi tape and paper and making bookmarks. And people loved it. Really simple, easy. We made a lot of little bookmarks, and they turned into Christmas presents. So it was a really good timing. So I don't know what we're doing in the craft and chat tomorrow. Tracy does.
And yeah, I do. And I don't know what I did with this one. I'm like, oh my goodness, you've got exact measurements in this one.
That's okay.
We'll
do the best we can. So that's what is part of the membership. So you were going to say your favorite glues.
So
adhesives, sorry.
For my pictures on the paper, and also I'm going to kind of relate a bit of, there's another question about acid-free products. If it's touching my pictures, yes, you're going to be acid-free. Okay, that's where I become very careful because, of course, your pictures is really what you want to keep going, right? I can't think of my word. Sorry.
Preserve.
Yeah, preserve. Thank you. And so I like my Tombow runner. We mentioned this in one of the other videos. There's others who like, any tape runner, the Scrapbook Adhesive brand, the 3M brand, which is the Scotch brand, which are some of them are bigger than that. It's whatever you're comfortable using. Okay. I personally, I just can't use the bigger ones, but the product is very good. I'm not going to bash anything. So to me, that's very important. Then when it comes to the paper on paper, depending on sometimes if it's especially if you do some of the inking and some of the scratching off the edges kind of thing, then if the paper's not flat or it's got a little, depending on how thick you've done it with some of the layers of, could be paint, could be paste, whatever, then you want something strong to hold it down. And that's where, this is what we were talking about earlier, the score tape, which is Sukwang. Okay, Sukwang is, it's written inside here. Okay, this is a very good strong tape, and it comes in all different thicknesses or widths, I should say. Then I'll admit it, when it's paper on paper, I will use some of an inexpensive kind of double-sided tape. I really will. However, when it comes to my chipboard, I will always, always love my Tombow. It's the white glue. There's a clear glue Tombow, which is good for other things, but for the stronger pieces, and also I'll use metal pieces, I love this. I mean, you can't take it away from me. Okay, well, you'd think I would work for them, but yeah, I definitely love them. All right. So I don't know. These are just my favorites. Of course, I'm going to use foam dots depending on, I took those out. I think this is Scrapbook Adhesive brand. and I know this is a very popular package because you get different widths or different sizes in it. Sorry, the same width. I know my clients love these as well. So again, I find adhesives, it really depends on what you're using it for and what you like. Okay.
That's a good answer.
That's a big thing. So,
It's an
yeah.
excellent answer. That's good. You've answered the one about acid free or not acid free. Sandy said, I love the circle sessions are on Zoom. So yeah, when we do our circles together, we're together on Zoom. It's not like us and reading comments like we're doing now. It's actually live. Same with the crop, the VIP crop on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
Yes.
The VIP crop is done on Zoom as well. So it's really about creating that relationship and that ambiance. And we have a lot of discussions that have nothing to do with scrapbooking, which is what women do when we get together and chat, isn't it? Or any men are welcome to. What women do is we get together and we chat. So, Ella, it was a really good class. Love to see the bookmarks because the activity. It was a really good class that Tracy put together for that. I usually have them around, but I don't know where I put them. But they were very simple, and it just was a great activity. It was using up your washi tape and some paper, and it was a really great activity. Do you put several photos?
We're just using up scraps is what we're doing. Because I figured that's something because it's hard for me to pick a class when I don't know who's going to be there and what they own or what they like to do. So I went, okay, everybody has scraps. Bring those.
Well, and it also worked for any level. People loved it. We ended up making like 3 rounds of bookmarks. So it was great. Do you think putting several photos on one page is too much? We kind of already answered them.
No, I definitely don't. Not at all. I mean, like I said, I wish I would have known these questions would have been coming up because I would have brought up some pages that I have 4 or 5 pictures. Sometimes I will go, you count going, I've got 13 of them on a page, right? Those obviously I cut smaller and I'll put them kind of together and, pretend these are photos. I might go, okay, this is on here, like covering up that part of the photo, but then I can get here, another one here, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? You just play around with them, but no.
You sometimes do foldy things, right, too, right?
Yeah, you definitely can. You can do the waterfalls.
Thank you. Is that what a foldy thing's
So
called?
many things you can do.
It's not called a foldy thing?
It's called folding thing works. I know exactly. Well, because you can just do folding things. You can.
So you can add as many as you want. So there's a ton of really cool things that you can do. And that's the fun part that you guys have with all this paper crafting is not only is a lot of paper crafts that you can play with and new stuff coming out all the time, but there's this ton of what you can do with what you already have, which is really a strong focus of our circle. Like we said, it's about what you already have. Plus everybody shares stuff. That's the cool part too. They share what they're working on and you get to see and ask questions like this. And so it's a great resource as well.
Sorry, it's weird when you were just talking there, Heather, like I remember I don't cook much, everybody, but there used to be a cooking show, and I believe this man was out in BC, Canada, the Urban Peasant. Okay. Because again, I'm not a cook. I will not measure. And he was one who just went, I like him and it's the exact way I can scrapbook because he'll go, okay, so you've got your roast beef and you want to put this on it. If you don't have it, use something else. And he'd be talking like that. You don't like it, use something else. And that's exactly what you can do. You could watch any of these videos and go, I love this concept, but I don't have that. We'll use something else.
Yeah, and I think that's a great piece of advice for anything that we do. I would cook that way normally, but it's a great piece of advice to do things.
I loved him.
Hotel California, who we don't know who you are, Hotel California, great name, but most samples she's seen only have 1 or 2, so having more photos is definitely...
It is the in thing, we'll say that, but no, you do as many as you like. Okay.
Great piece of great advice. Do what feels right for you. And that goes back to the theme we got in today is find your own style. It's funny, through these summits, we always find this theme that emerges. So this might be our theme that's emerging through this summit, which is find your own style and do that. Does anybody have any more questions for the amazing Tracy, who is a great resource for finding out about what's there? Because that's what she does for a living, is finding all this stuff and knowing what it is there. Hi, Cindy, another Cindy. But yeah, that's going to be a tongue tie. Feel free to ask any questions you have here in the Facebook group or places like that. Oh, Debbie just showed up. Hi, Debbie.
We're not done now. Here's Debbie.
I used to put 4 to 6 photos on each one. Thank you. I see Tracy. We see you. I see Heather. For those who don't know, and I don't remember what day Debbie's on, Debbie is on. Debbie, well, you're live tomorrow morning. I think she's our first live tomorrow. Yes, Debbie's our first live at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. 10 a.m. North American Eastern Standard Time. Whew. So, and Debbie's always a hoot. So if you're kind of not somebody who wakes up well in the morning, come and join us. Debbie will wake you up. Right, Debbie? Debbie will wake us up and she'll wake you up. Yes. What is your favorite color? Oh, there you go. Tracy, what's your favorite color?
I definitely love greens. In my with papers and that, I'm finding I go through a lot of turquoise and but yeah, anything with some green in it, I love for sure.
Here's a good question for you: did the glossy accent dry tacky to touch?
No, I mean it's not even like. Of course, you do have to let it sit for. I mean, hours, and 24 hours is better than nothing, or better than, but right now, I mean, it's smooth, we'll just say, but it's not tacky. Okay. Like things don't stick to it. Because yes, believe it or not, glossy accents you can use as a glue as well. Because I'm wondering if that's where if Kristen knows about that too, might be going, hey, hang on.
When you still call it a scrapbook if you still, oh, there you go. Here's a good one for you. Would you still call it scrapbooking if you just stick things in a book, no layout and stuff?
You're allowed to call it what you like. Like really, I am so not one who will tell you, like, there's no rules in this. Okay, you can call it scrapbooking. You can call it
mixed media, journaling,
junk
journals.
Yeah, junk journals, like whatever you like. If it makes you happy, Ruth, you do it.
We have an old question, new person. What craft did you start with? Catherine Maxima. What craft? We didn't ask that one, actually.
Yeah, no, hang on though. Are you going back to like kindergarten? Again, my same friend who started me scrapbooking, she got me into the painting, like the little houses and that for like under your Christmas tree.
Ceramic.
Thank you. Sorry, I can't always think of words.
I finished Tracy's sentences for her.
Yes. Yeah, that might have been when I kind of started, and I like that.
What craft?
And then again, that same lady got me into the scrapbooking eventually. She won.
So I have that question to everyone there. The first craft I started was sewing. My mother taught me how to sew. That would have been first, because like I didn't have any clothes that came from a store. Everything was handmade, and I learned how to sew first, and then knitting, and then cross stitch.
See, when you're saying that, like, yeah, because my mother sewed all our clothes as well, but of course we'd lost her. But so as a teen, I figured, okay, I'm going to get into sewing, and I took home ec, back then and whatnot. And this is something. Wow, you're bringing back memories, Heather. Thanks. Because we had to learn different types of stitches. I don't remember the stitches anymore because obviously sewing, no offense, Mom, was not my thing. But we had to do our homework or whatever was to come up. We had to show these different stitches. And I was like, this is boring. On a strip of material, you do a stitch. So I cut out my stitch, or I cut things out to look like t-shirts or shirts and pants. And I did the stitches. And then she was like, can I keep this as a sample to show other grades? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, I know. Every now and then I think of it going, it's a good idea, Trace, right?
Someone says, I love the idea of pasting photos in an old favorite book as a graduation present. It's kind of a cool idea.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yes. I did that with one of my first chipboard albums I made when my daughter was graduating, and because I was like, okay, what do you get her, from high school, whatever, that won't embarrass her because it's from Mom. So I put all her pictures of friends or her friends in there, and then I got quotes from them, and yeah, it's fun.
I like Debbie's answer. If it makes you happy, it can't be bad.
That's right.
Ruth, so we
That's right.
have, I learned to sew in kindergarten and ceramics. Yeah, junior high. Ruth, my grandma taught me how to sew, mainly so she could take a nap when I was trying. I love that. I started crocheting and cross stitch as a child. Yep. It's amazing where it all comes from, right? It was, mine was definitely, my grandmother made everything, or she crocheted and knitted and all that kind of stuff. My mother was a quilter, which I never got into quilting. Same idea. It's I can't, quilting doesn't do it for me, but.
I had a knitting Nancy, if that says anything to anybody. It was just some little knitting tool, I guess, a little
The
kid's
circle
thing.
thing?
And then it was a circle thing, and then you'd pull it out of the bottom. And I don't know what I ever did with any of that, but I did. I remember enjoying it a bit. That was it.
I didn't even know what that was called, but I don't think I had one of those.
Well, because this was it had her face on it. It was I've actually seen it on Facebook. People posted it going, "You had that."
All the
Yeah.
things that we have that take us to crafting. I think once you get into crafting, whether or not you do every modality, there's so many things out there we can do.
Yeah.
We were broke, so my mom made my clothes. We weren't broken. My mom made my clothes, Debbie.
Yeah.
So I'm on that too. Now I have the song in my head.
Don't get that subject on going, because I'll be like, yeah, then I had to wear my brother's hand-me-downs. And it was like, oh,
We do diamond painting and cross stitch. Yeah. So there's so many different things that we can do. I do paint by numbers. There's lots of arty stuff
yeah,
that we can do. I still do
I
paint by
did
numbers.
like that.
Do adult paint by numbers, which are
Yeah.
a lot more challenging than ones I did as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, we have to get going to write emails so that you guys get to know what's going on tomorrow. So thank you all so much for joining us live. If you have more questions, stop by the Facebook group. Remember, you've got your bingo card, so play your bingo card. There's been people posting. We love to see what you do. It is the most sincere feedback to our speakers when you say, I did this or I tried this, and you do a picture. They really love to hear that. If you are a VIP, we have our crop tomorrow night. We will be sending out a supply list sometime tonight. And we will be back tomorrow with, I think it's 7 amazing speakers. One day's 8. I think Saturday's
We
8.
know Deb.
Debbie's our first one tomorrow. Thanks for all the great ideas from day one, ladies. You are welcome. Debbie is our first Q&A tomorrow at 10 a.m. Heather does doodling. Yes, I do doodling. I do watercolors. I actually did a lot of work in colored pencil drawing. And then I stopped because I got carpal tunnel. But my carpal tunnel has been fixed. I just haven't really gotten back to doing as much as I can. So the snail is so cute. Your snail is very cute, Debbie. So come and join us tomorrow. If you're having any challenges getting in, if you're watching the replay and you still aren't getting emails from us, number one, check your spam folders. Our emails that go out for day 1, day 2, day 3, 4 have a lot of links in them. And sometimes that just throws them into spam. So check your spam folders. If you're not getting it, then it's likely you might have unsubscribed from our list and you need to resubscribe. So do that and come in. Worst case, if you can't get anything, message Tracy at scrapbookingfunsummit.com, and we will do our best to help you out and do that. But thank you all. And if you haven't bought the VIP package and you're interested in any of the bonuses, the price of the VIP package will be paid with 1 or 2 picks of the bonuses. And Debbie, we'll talk about tomorrow, has a wonderful bonus in the VIP. You can pick and choose her classes, which is fun. So you can do what you want to do. So definitely come and join us tomorrow. So tomorrow we have a live at 10 a.m. with Debbie. We have a live at noon with Molly. We have a live with Cindy, who is from Dare to Be Artsy. And then we have a live with Mary Ann, who is from
Ecstasy Crafts.
Ecstasy Crafts. So we have lots of lives tomorrow. We have lots of lives we don't have a live with every speaker. They're not all available. But we do have at least 4 every day. I think we have more on Saturday. So come hang out with us. We're excited. Thank you all for being with us today and day 1. And if you're listening to the replay, thank you for listening to that. And we will see you all tomorrow. Keep an eye on your emails. You'll get a wrap-up email tonight. If you're not a VIP, we send a little less emails to the VIPs so we don't annoy them because they have accent. And if you're VIP, you'll be getting your supply list. If you've said yes that you're coming to the crop, if you've said no, you won't. And if you haven't answered at all, check one of your emails that say, yes, I'm going to the crop, because that gets you the information to everything. So thank you all. Excited to move on to day 2. You still have lots of time to watch the videos. We're not even 12 hours in. So the day 1 videos go down at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning and the day 2 videos come up. if the website's not working, we've had, but maybe if I get it
Yeah,
out there, it won't happen. We've had issues with the website on the second day, 2 summits in a row. Don't know why. So hopefully they're all fixed and it won't happen. But if there's any tech issues, just give us some time to solve them. And we will be back for that. So that is it. Thank you all. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing evening or morning, depending where you are. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks. And
thank
thanks, Tracy.
you. Just me.